this bill is supposed to help sick people.
Right.
Why don't we have a bill that helps healthy people?
Because it's not. It doesn't make somebody money.
Nothing in this bill pertains to life. Nothing in this bill says, you know what, if you decide to go to the store, we'll give you 3 apples a day for free. And the government will subsidize you with we'll give you a credit card to allow you to eat vegetables. Vegetables are half price.
That's what you're saying. You have to find a way to make money. I guess that's what healthcare is. If we make it so that the insurance companies profit, they'll get it. See, well, somebody has to make money. Obviously, that's the problem.
Is that what it comes down to?
That's what it seems to look like.
It always comes down to money and numbers. How many times have we said that on the show? Even when it comes to election, it comes down to money and numbers. But you know what? You're going to see a drastic vote.
Oh, well, let me tell you, Shirley, there's a question that just came up in your chat room from 2 of your people, and I think it's a wonderful question, Shirley, and I'm going to read it to you the both way they say it. First, Max says, do you have to throw all the poor people under the bus in order to help the working class? And then Sassy said, do you have to throw the working class under the bus to help the poor? Now, you guys, wonderful. Now, here's my thing. It's the crabs in the barrel phenomenon. Notice how they have us thinking that it's either help the poor or the working class. so they have us thinking that we're the working people.
The working people are bad.
If we help the poor, they're going to take it off of my back.
Right.
See, notice this?
And the poor feels entitled. You know, you owe me.
And the poor feels entitled. So we have a bunch of things going on bad here. Because the thing is, the money, let's play like this. You think we would be able to pay for this if we weren't fighting this war in Iraq and Afghanistan? See, that's what I told you. If you didn't have those wars, this is what has been said. This was said by Martin Luther King.
Come on now.
This has been said over and over. When you fund these type of international excursions, it actually gets in the way of all the social programs that we need. All the money that was supposed to go for your health care went to the war. And it continues to go to the war. You know how much that war was? You wrote that man a blank check after 9/11. I told you, don't ever write these people a blank check.
The Democrats,
they did it too. Everybody wrote them. Everybody wrote it. Gave them a blank check. No, they did. They wrote them a blank check. But I'm telling you guys, the money, what happens has to do is they let you decide where you want to put the crumbs. But the big masses of money that really are out there, you have no control. You might have said, well, you know, we thought it was so hard here in America, we're doing no financial aid overseas. We're not going to, it's so bad here, we're going to feed the poor and give immunizations, and we won't do little incentives and provide free military support so Israel can do what they want to do in the Middle East and our other people can do and buy. See, there's a bunch of money that goes around militarily.
You know, Mario, I'm gonna follow on that.
Dr. Bear agrees with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take it too far back, but you know, there was this unbelievable powerful country called Russia, really called Soviet Union, where they poured all their money into their military engine,
and they went broke.
And the globalization of their might was it was the most important thing. Now, I'm not saying that we're doing all that, but if you look at the spending that we do, and we shared this on the show, I think, with Morning Coffee, Mario and I did.
Right.
I said, look at where the money is spent. Now, just stop there. Forget anything else and go look at the chart. It was actually available at USA Today. And I said, so when you sit back and see the amount of money, we're talking about several hundred, you know, trillion dollars.
Trillion with a T.
So the part that I'm trying to get at is, I said, it's really the knowledge and education of knowing where your predominance of money flows, and that vehicle of support comes from corporate governance with a nice political platform to stabilize it.
And I would suggest you, Victor, that the rich in Russia is still the rich. This is a country that couldn't make a damn car. They can't make a car.
No, they're going to feed their people bread and water outside the cold.
And this is where the Republicans get mad at me. Ronald Reagan did this huge military build-up. Remember Star Wars initiative? And the minute they start spending all this money, we find out that the Soviet Union is crumbling. It came out. It was a surprise.
Yes, it was.
No one knew.
That's correct.
But we did all this spending, and then we come to find out, well, maybe the Soviet Union ain't that strong. They're falling apart. But we just did a massive military buildup to fight the evil empire that threatens us. Yep. And now we have another one. We have the war on terror, which is everywhere. It can go on forever because there is no person to fight. It can go on forever.
Go on forever. Let's go.
We can fight everybody.
Mario, I want to go back to the chatters and
and fight everybody. It's terror. We fight, and it's not. Who doesn't want to fight terror?
No, who doesn't want to fight terror?
This is the best, PR.
We want America to be
this
safe.
is PR branding at its best. We're going to fight terror. I'm against torturing children. Raise your hand. Well, everybody. Jeez, this is the dog and pony show.
Hey, who's the dog and who's the pony? I think the American people are kind of a little bit of both. I want to go back to the family on the chat room. You talked about throwing a person on the bus. I always say, which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
And y'all both on the bus. The middle class is right next to the poor folk.
Right.
In fact, y'all try to debate what that line is.
Right.
What line says poor and what? I'm middle class. I'm poor.
Which one came first? The
we all
egg?
broke.
The egg gets crushed.
We all broke.
The egg gets crushed and the chicken gets ate. So, when we think about throwing somebody under the bus, on the truth of the matter, Scripture said that there always will be the poor among you. And if you're not willing to work, you will not have. That's period. Right. And you cannot continue to think the government's going to take care of you. That's why the system of America, as much as we're criticizing the health care bill, this is still probably the best place you could ever want to live in the United States. Because the United States is the best place in the world. So if you think about our country, yes, we have leaders that are being very, very unsmart and unwise right now because they're being pressed by that witch, that wicked witch from the California named Nancy Pelosi. We got a bunch of Looney Tunes out here, Fruit Loops in a box. Nancy Pelosi, Diane Feinstein, and Boxer.
She has wonderful outfits.
Bad checks, and nobody's going after her. Fiscal responsibility not being brought back on the table. That's the problem. Fiscal responsibility starts with you, America. So when you sit in the chat line saying, let's save the world, save yourself. Go take a bath. You stink. Your mama might go open your legs and clean it real good. Brush your teeth. Put some deodorant on. Get out and get a job instead of saying, well, I'm broke and poor. Well, stand in line. Go talk to your neighbor. We've had that show in the past where I gave you the top 10 things that you can do, such as you don't got to go to Starbucks. Start going to the 99-cent store and coffee shops. You know what you can do is start living with family members. Drink water. You don't need coffee.
Remember I said eating good is eating cheap. It's the money we spend is for the stuff that ain't good for us, right? And we got to have sodas. We got to drink a bunch of sodas. We need all this fast food.
But why don't they have a bill that prevents bad health and bad lifestyle? Why isn't that instilled in this bill?
I don't know.
Why are they covering you on the healthcare? The healthcare brick is saying we're going to pay for a gym membership. We're going to provide vegetables at half price. We're going to get you so you can go to a therapy.
The farmers are taking them.
A lot of people need therapy after losing their homes and being unemployed. That's why they're driving planes into a building.
There's something
here.
That's
a health issue.
And we have to stop thinking one-dimensional. Now, I'm not going to try to tell people to go to a place where they're not comfortable, but you know what? And I'm saying this. It may not happen right now, maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the road. We have to stop making people think by our words it's only a one-dimensional existence, meaning you have to go get a job. Sometimes it's good to start training in our society that you can go build your own company to create jobs. So I'm not saying that that's going to solve it right now. It's just that I know I came up in a world where only thing that said you will make it is if you go work for someone else. Right. And I say this all the time, and everybody's not going to agree with me. I said, why isn't that taught that you can go and develop, create jobs, be more empowerment?
I understand that.
So I'm saying
there was a saying,
the reason that saying is put in place because government wants to control. You remember, when you grow up as a child, you're put into a school system that there's someone controlling you. Then you go and you get that higher position, someone's controlling you. Then after that, either you're going to be a controller that's still going to be controlled, meaning that you have a boss, and that boss always has a boss, and that boss always has a boss.
Right.
So it's another form of control. How dare you think outside the box and be an entrepreneur? How dare you think and say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to raise and have my own money and start my own business. The glorious part of that, though, in America, you're given choices. How you're programmed to think is what Vic is saying. They don't program you to think you to be an entrepreneur. That comes from your own research and from your family saying you need to get out there and cut from the government. Cut the umbilical cord.
Well, as the saying goes, and Mac might have heard this one in the old days, it was like, Negro, make your own help. Shit, you need it. That was the saying, but they didn't say Negro. They said Negro to get to make your own. Because the government's like hard-hearted Hannah, the girl from